Maghahatid sa inyo ng mahahalagang impormasyon.
Usapan sa Balay.
Sapat na kaalaman, kapaki-pakinabang at kinakailangan ng bayan.
Usapan sa Balay. Ating samahan ang mga host na sina Napule at Madelynne Dominguez. Usapan sa Balay. News and current
Ang
affairs.
palatuntunang maghahatid sa inyo ng mahahalagang impormasyon.
Usapan sa Balay.
Sapat na kaalaman, kapaki-pakinabang at kinakailangan ng bayan.
Usapan sa Balay. Ating samahan ang mga host na sina Napule at Madelynne Dominguez.
Apat na dekada ka na naming kasama, mula sa simpleng agahan hanggang sa mga fiesta o espesyal na handaan. Pinasasaya mo ang bawat selebrasyon, ginagawang memorable ang bawat okasyon. Sa mga pagsubok, hindi mo kami iniwan. Nariyan ka para kami ay tulungan. Maraming kwento ang nabuo dahil sa'yo. Nagbigay ka ng pag-asa sa kabila ng mga sakuna. Tunay ngang ikaw ang house of bread. Tahanan ka sa masasarap, malalambot, at masusustansyang tinapay. Ikaw, oo ikaw. Ikaw ay tunay naming mahal. Tinapayan Festival, ang tinapay ng Maynila.
Tinapayan Festival is the house of bread. Tinapay ay anong sarap, for me it is the best. Lahat dito ng tinapay ay hahanaping tunay. Tinapayan Festival is the house of bread ninyo, is the house of bread ninyo.
Okay, magandang hapon po, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Ito po inyong lingkod, si Director Madelynne Dominguez. Minus Professor Dennis Napule na may emergency pong meeting na aatenan sa araw na ito. Kaya solo po ang inyong lingkod. Just the same, samahan niyo po ako isang oras mahigit ngayong hapong ito at magiging makabuluhan po ang ating talakayan. At gusto ko rin po pasalamatan ang pamunuan ng MTRCB sa pangunguna ni Chair Lala Soto sa pagpapaunlak sa atin na makapanayam at makasama yung mga pinagpipitagang board member ng MTRCB. Medyo po ibang topic natin for today, MTRCB, kasi po ni-request po nung ibang mga kasamahan natin sa hanap buhay at ng ibang kaibigan natin dahil sinasabi nila ano ba raw yung role ng MTRCB. Marami pa rin daw nakakalusot na may ginagawa ba raw tong MTRCB. So in fairness naman po, para malaman po at maliwanagan lahat tayo at yung mga nag-request, bibigyan pong linaw yung mga katanungan nyo ng ating mga pinagpipitagang panauhin. Papalad po tayo at pababatiin po muna natin isa-isa. Makakasama po natin si Attorney Paulino Cases, ang Committee Chair ng Adjudication Committee ng MTRCB. Good afternoon, Attorney Cases.
Good afternoon po, ma'am, Director.
Madelynne lang po. Oo. Thank you po. Kasama rin po natin si Sir Federico Moreno.
Good afternoon, Miss Madelynne. Magandang hapon. Thank you for inviting us over.
Si Sir Federico Moreno po ay ang anak ni dating yung pinapanood ko ito nung maliit ako Walang tulugan, si Kuya Germs. Si Sir Federico Moreno po ang board member and chair ng Rating and Classification Committee ng Movie and Television Review and Classification Board ng MTRCB. Makakasama rin po natin si Sir Rico Pableo, ang board member ng Committee on Responsableng Panonood at nire-represent niya po yung Davao. Good afternoon, Sir Rico. Welcome to Usapan sa Balai.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you po, Director Mads.
Opo. Kasama din po natin si Sir Raymond Aquino, ang board member ng Committee on Responsableng Panonood. Nire-represent niya po ito yung lugar ng Cebu. So, hindi ko po maunawaan to. Later on, tatanong po natin. Sir Raymond, go ahead
Yes.
to greet our viewers.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everybody, and we're really glad to be in this show. Considering that, as you mentioned earlier, no, medyo maraming mga tanong, kontrobersiya, at iba-iba pa. So we're here to answer all those questions, and I'm sure after this episode, so to speak, no, you will understand what we're doing because actually the agency is doing a lot. Yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you po. So, bago po tayo mag-start, may message po dito. Siguro yung part 2 na lang kasi gusto ko magpasalamat kay Colonel Red Maranan, na PNP spokesman ng Philippine National Police. Hindi po sila makapasok at yung committee ng filmmaking ng PNP dahil may sumabog daw pong transformer sa Krame just now. So, thank you po. Just the same, Colonel Maranan and Colonel Marvin Saro, Colonel Simon. Rest assured, bibigyan namin ng part 2 to next week at PNP naman, solo nyo. So, solo ng MTRCB just for today. Meron lang pong pumutok sa transformer sa Krame bago po tayo mag-start ng program. Pero nagmo-monitor po sila through their own cellphone na lang. Hindi daw po talaga kaya. Gusto nilang i-live to sa Krame yung program, but rest assured, Colonel Maranan, yung part 2 namin, exclusive sa PNP. Kung meron man kami invite sa MTRCB sa second part, siguro yung related sa issue ng PNP. Kasi marami din pong PNP issue na pwede nating i-correlate sa issue ng MTRCB review. So, hindi ko na po patatagalin. Again, thank you Colonel Red Maranan and Colonel Marvin Saro for informing us what happened. We'll do expecting you to join us now, but due to unavoidable circumstances, we do understand. Thank you din po, General Arnel Amor Libed. Hayaan nyo po, second segment, lahat nga, gaya ng sinabi ko, PNP naman. Pero syempre, you will be joined by MTRCB, maybe 1 or 2 officials na lang. Thank you po. We do understand. So, humingi po kami ng paumanhin sa mga nag-aabang ng mga tiga-PNP. Hindi po makakapasok sila dahil may pumutok na transformer. Anyway, we'll go back to MTRCB board members. Unahin ko na po, hindi ko po alam kung sino ang right person na pwede magsalita dito. Siguro any one of you, any one of the board member, Sir Sunny or Attorney Cases, ano ba yung ano po ba yung ginagampanan ng papel ng tanggapan ng MTRCB sa ngayon? Kasi yung mga viewers natin, especially mga parents, just to inform you, Attorney Cases, may grupo ng parents na supposed to join us, but ewan ko kung sinuswerte tayo. May problema din yung kanilang communication sa Bacoor, Cavite. Ngayon lang nag-message yung grupo ng mga kababaihan sa Responsableng Panonood ng telebisyon at pelikula para sa kanilang mga anak. Sayang ano, ang gaganda pa naman ng mga guests supposed to be, natapat silang nagkasabay pa sa PNP. Anyway, as I'm saying, Attorney Cases, ano po ba yung ginagampanan ng papel ng tanggapan ng MTRCB?
Ma'am, siguro, that's why apat kami kasi
Opo.
mga iba couldn't make it. Kaya sabi ko nga mas maganda yung lahat kami present. So that we will fill in those who could not make it this afternoon.
Opo.
Anyway, ma'am,
I do appreciate.
Yes. So, para lang in a very legalistic way, we have a mandate, yung Presidential Decree 1986. This is a decree ni former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Our mandate there is to review and to classify mga films no? Movie, theaters, and television programs. Ano po, lahat sila. And kung babasahin yung batas na yun, we are authorized even to delete certain portions. Pero in practice, we don't do that anymore. We're also mandated to classify, no? Rate and classify. Kunyari, sa TV, meron kaming G, GP, SPG. And sa movies naman, G, GP, and then R 13, 16, and 18, as we know. Di ba po? And yun, ang scope ng aming mandato ay sa television and movies lang po. It includes po, of course, mga billboards, mga advertisements sa TV or sa movie, and those sorts. Dati hawak pa rin namin yung mga advertisements, pero bigay na natin po sa Advertising Board of the Philippines, which is a private association. Now, to speak further on ratings and classification, I will defer to board member Federico Moreno kasi siya po ang ating chair sa Committee on Ratings and Classification po. Sir Fred?
Thank you. Thank you, Attorney Paulino. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you again for inviting us over. I guess Call of Duty is the priority. So we would love to have the other guests to be on board. Unfortunately, Call of Duty. So we will try our best to be able to answer and, of course, share some information about the MTRCB. So from the side of ratings and, let's say, classification, like what Attorney Paulino mentioned a while ago, the MTRCB does review and classification of programs on television and on movie, no? The ratings were provided also already by Attorney Casas kanina. So we are a composition of 30 board members, no? So ano bang trabaho na ginagawa namin dito sa MTRCB? So kaming 30 board members, nanonood kami ng TV at nanonood kami ng pelikula. Just to make it plain and simple, no? So, yes, do we do that every day? Yes. We are actually not your regular board, no? I'll give you an example. This is our board composition is not the type of, sabihin mo ng board wherein they only report once a month or probably twice a month or every board members. Every board meeting. But for the MTRCB, the board members are a working board. It's a working board. In fact, we start in the morning and start in the evening, no? May mga task kaming may mga task or mga schedules na binibigay sa amin on what to review, and that is divided into the 30 board members. So just imagine, ma'am, ang dami namin ginagawa, no? Kasi ilan ang programa, ilan yung plug. Yung mga plug ng mga istasyon, nire-review din namin po yan. Yung mga 30-seconder, 10-seconder, 5-seconder plug. Pati po yung mga trailer po ng pelikula, whether it's 5 or 10. So, kunyari, isa pong pelikula. Ang isang pelikula po, minsan meron pong 2 trailer. Minsan 4 na trailer. Minsan 10 trailer. Kasi may 30-seconder, may 15-seconder, may 1-minuter. So, iba-iba po yan. Sa pag-rate din po, kagaya na mention ni Attorney Paulino kanina, yung mga advertising materials or non-publicity materials, nire-review din po namin yan. Yan po yung mga nakikita nyo sa mga sinihan, sa labas po ng sinihan, na mga nakapastel na mga posters, at pati yung mga gondola or standees, yung mga tao, yung parang mga nakatayo na na you can actually enjoy seeing those characters. As for example, sa Marvel, everything that is connected to the movie, we also do our own rating for that. So, basically, ma'am, everything except for, kagaya na nasabi ni attorney kanina, except yung mga nagpe-place na mga advertisers, which has been transferred already to the ad board. Thank you.
Yung board member Moreno, yung mga criteria ba ng screening committee being chair, bago aprobahan, ano po ba yung mga guidelines na ini-issue nyo sa television and movie?
Ma'am, basically, ma'am, when it comes to the rating of every program, it's basically subjective, ma'am. Eh. If a while ago you were saying, you were asking bakit may Cebu, bakit may Davao.
Opo,
The
opo.
beautiful part of the MTRCB is because we are a very diverse team. We're a very diverse board. It's I can proudly say that not every member of society, but a big majority or part of society is well represented in the board. I'll give an example. Si BM Rico is from Davao, wherein he gets to feel the ground there in Davao. Ano bang mga nangyayari sa Davao? Ano bang mga hinaing or meron bang mga nagbibigay ng mga comments and suggestions? As for BM Raymond Aquino, who is based in Cebu, we coordinate, we collaborate in every area we are. And just to add lang, ma'am, no, with like si BM Raymond and si BM Rico, we had a board meeting the other day and they had to fly in just to attend the board meeting. So that's how I would say busy we are. The office, no, ma'am.
So, bukod sa Cebu, kasi yun yung tinanong ko, sir, kanina, no? Cebu, may representative kayo sa Davao. So, all parts sa Pilipinas.
Ma'am, it's like this, ma'am. What we're trying to express and convey is that the board of the 30 board members, we have parents, we have psychologists, we have professionals based in the south, professionals based on the north. So what we're trying to convey here, ma'am, is that the board is composed of different people that could put in their comments, their intelligence, their people, or sabihin natin spiritual or religious, everyone's well represented. So we don't necessarily have a representative per city or per province, but because of the composition na merong mga tiga-Butuan, merong tiga-North, merong tiga sa South, like our esteemed gentlemen included here in our Zoom, medyo maganda ang composition ng board po namin.
So, ang member po, correct niyo po ako kung mali ako ng pagkakaintindi. A member ng committee na minimension nyo na 30 board members, not exclusively more from MTRCB. Some are coming from religious, private sector, NGO. Tama po ba?
No, ma'am. What we're trying to say is, kaming 30 board members po na nandito sa inyo, iba-iba pa kaming sectors ng society. Ako po, I'm a businessman also. At the same time, my business is in the entertainment industry. Ganun po ba? Si Attorney Cases is a lawyer. Si BM Rico has been in government for quite some time. And Attorney Raymond has been in the marketing and of course in the political press side. So he's into digital marketing, and that's basically iba-iba po kaming composition, or sabihin na lang natin iba-iba kami sa board.
Iba-ibang expertise.
Yes, there you go.
I thought kasi yung 30, there are some members ng board na galing sa labas na kunyari ako, private individual, I want to become a member of board ng MTRCB. Hindi ganon. Isang grupo po talaga kayo na member ng MTRCB.
Yes, ma'am. We are all presidential we have been appointed by the president and the president. There you go.
Madam, if I may put, if I may, how to say, state, what we're trying to say is we do not represent a group I do not represent a certain association or a group, no? I am in there because they need 5 lawyers, so but I'm one of the 5. And then we're all individuals, no? Coming from different industries or sectors, if I may say so. Madami po kami galing sa entertainment or may TV, may movie, ganyan. May script writers, may directors, may producers, etc. But not necessarily representing a group or a place. Like si board member Raymond here, it just so happened that he is from Cebu, di ba, sir? But then he stays there, he resides there. So we always say, oh, we have a representative in Cebu. Like si BM Rico also, oh, he's from Davao. So we will always say, oh, we have a representative. But generally speaking, they feel the pulse there. They also interact with the viewing public in their own places.
Okay.
If I may add to that, no? One of the things with us MTRCB, when we make our, let's say, rating, is based on the contemporary Filipino value, those values, no? And right now, since it's there are represented, I mean, there are members of the board that come from, let's say, different parts of the country, especially in the South, no? The voices and, let's say, the opinions and, let's say, the culture of the South can be, you know, like, can also be expressed when ratings are made. Because, like, for example, in Manila, might be safe to say that Manila might be more liberal. Now, as we move to Cebu, Cebu is more conservative than Manila. And then when we go to South, like one of our board members is from Butuan, which is a little bit, it's not even a little bit more, let's say, really on the conservative side. Whereas when you speak of Davao, which si BM Rico is from, it's, I mean, you know, there's a very, very strong, let's say, conservative feel to that, considering that we have a lot of Muslim brothers and sisters there. So, having said that, when we rate, as what BM Moreno said earlier, no, there are many opinions that are heard. So the views there, at least, no, we come to the closest that will represent what's important for the Filipino. Yun lang.
And speaking of views, I'm sure fully aware ng MTRCB. Ang minomonitor nyo lang is more on movie, television, gaya nga nung sinabi ni Attorney Casas a while ago, ang advertisement tinanggal na. There's a group of individual na ini-invoke nila na kung pwedeng sakupin yung social media. I'm pretty sure aware kayo dun sa proposal o yung mga feedback ng ibang mga kababayan natin na pwede bang yung social media baraw isama. Sabi ko, kaya nga movie and television lang eh. May mga proposal na po bang nakarating sa tanggapan nyo?
Yes. May I? If I may? If I may?
Yeah, okay.
If I may. Actually, there is a bill or bills pala pending before the Senate and Congress po that they want to include within the jurisdiction of the MTRCB yung online streaming, no po. But not social media when you say yung mga cell phones, etc. Iba na po yun. Ibang, that's a different ball game. But with regards to online streaming, they want to specifically state that clearly lahat yon and any and all platforms of similar nature in the future, whether it's determined now or later on, to be included po sa jurisdiction ng MTRCB. I think Board Member Rico wanted to
Give some additional information.
Yes, thank you. Actually, ma'am, ang direction kasi sa MTRCB, we are talking about the challenge. We call it a challenge situation because we have this video streaming new platforms that we are facing at dahil ang aming we are working at the Presidential Decree 1986, medyo matagal, but still we understand, especially if we have lawyers, we have 5 lawyers, and we have Attorney Casas who help us implement na hindi naman talaga that literal interpretation namin. But we're able to work on that we regulate these materials. Kasi ang ginagawa actually ng MTRCB, to give you an idea, is that we before any material, before any exhibition, dadaan yun ng MTRCB. Before ipalabas sa television or sa cinema, dadaan yun. So we require for registration That's why we review and then we classify. And after the reviewing, classifying according to the rating, yung kanina kay DM Fred, sabi niya, that we anchored, according to BM Raymond, that we anchored in the Filipino values. So anything that goes against the Filipino values would somewhat be rated if it is still acceptable on our level, in our perspective, on our understanding, based on our backgrounds and based on our belief and values that we established, that we are working with, then maybe we can put it SPG, or rated in the movies, in the cinema, rated 13, 16, or 18. So kaya nga ngayon, ang mga problema natin, bakit itong nakadaan ba ito sa MTRCB? There are those who have not gone through MTRCB. Dahil hindi sila dumaan for registration before the exhibition, before palabas. But we're working on this. In fact, itong other video platforms, like for example, Netflix and Disney, we have already building up the partnership. Meron na kaming tinatawag because they shared to us anong dapat gagawin in line with the regulation. Kaya nga pumasok itong program namin na tinatawag na Responsableng Panonood. And the best thing that here that there will be the big role of parents. Kaya I'm happy to hear na mayroong mga kababaihan sa Responsableng Panonood over there in Cavite. So these parents... Bacoor. Yes, sorry, Bacoor. So, Bacoor. Okay, maganda yun kasi actually that will be the trust of the MTRCB. Since we cannot control everything, we are only able to control those whom we have started build up our partnership. Pero even YouTube, nagsimula na. I think meron ng initial discussion with YouTube that we will be eventually, hindi naman talaga that all of these materials na talagang gagawin namin because they're too voluminous, masyadong marami. But of course, in the Philippine context, we do the review kasi hindi naman rin dumadaan ng review. But it will be impossible to review kasi nire-review naman. But they're trying somewhat to level up with what we are trying to implement, what trying to do with these viewing materials, all these motion pictures.
So yung tinanong ko po kanina, may possibility bang i-consider yung mga on-live streaming na i-include sa MTRCB?
Yes,
when
po,
you say, excuse me, Attorney, when you say consider, there is no such thing as to consider. It should be, meaning to say, it should go through with the MTRCB. Kasi when you say consider, okay, just go on with your thing. Go on with your thing, but we would like that it should be discussed. It should be on the level with the MTRC. Kaya nagkaroon ng mga partnership with this other. Yung iba, hindi pa nagkaroon kami ng reach out or they have not yet in the table with us. So, yun ang nangyari. In fact, if you look into that YouTube, maraming mga palabas na somewhat already going against our expectations and Filipino culture. Kaya some parents are shocked about the situation. But we're working on it. Kaya nga nagkaroon ng workout for that bill. In fact, si Attorney Cal is very active on that, working on that bill. Sana bago ma-improve itong bill namin para we can be consistent with the demand of the times and the expectations of the Filipino people.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Attorney.
Yes. As of date, there are 4 bills in the Senate, sponsored by Senator Padilla, Grace Poe, Tolentino, and I forgot the other one. But
Padilla?
Yeah, Padilla yung una. Padilla, Grace Poe, Tolentino, and si Gatchalian. Okay. Now, sa House, Congress naman po, there are now 3 bills filed that by Congressmen Abante, Benny Abante, si Rufus Rodriguez, and Garcia, I think. So, lahat yun po, ang gusto nilang mangyari, the meat there is they want to include yung online streaming sa jurisdiction and trabaho ng MTRCB. Yes. Ang issues being discussed now is that, tama yung sinabi, voluminous nga. Okay, so close to, wow, hindi mo kayang gawin yon. So what we're looking at is post-review. Palabas mo na, then if there are complaints in that, so we act on it. Now, ang sinasabi po ni Board Member Rico is that since wala pa yung batas na yon, is those are just bills po, no, being discussed in the House. So right now, MTRCB, through our chair, Giorella, we are entering into certain partnerships, if you want to call, agreements, etc., with these providers, kagaya ni Netflix, YouTube, ano pa yung iba doon, Amazon, and Viva Max. Yan. So right now, yun ang ginagawa namin para lang magkaroon ng konting pag-uusap, dialogue. You know? Pag may nag-complaint, pupunta kami sa inyo, ayusin nyo naman, please, ganyan po. As of date.
Okay, at
I
least
just may add also from what Attorney Paulino Casas mentioned a while ago. The collaboration is very important for us board members because we want to understand also the new stakeholders, no? Yung mga bagong papasok na it's different already, ma'am. The technology is different, like what BM Rico mentioned a while ago. This is PD 1987 MTRCB. That is why the bill has been, I would say, presented to both houses because it needs to be really updated. And having this collaboration with the local and international streaming companies, online streaming companies, we are a bit in advance. There you go, in advance, because in other countries it is not being reviewed, but we have this with what's happening, what's coming out, yung lumalabas sa, sabihin na natin sa social media. I'll just use the word social media for now. But actually the content coming out right now, it's really, we really need to put a, I would say, more guidance for every Filipino family with what's coming out now on social media and the content coming out. So this opportunity to serve the Filipinos through reviewing and classifying this video on demand streaming platforms, we believe that it would really answer more the mga questions o reklamo na hinihingi na mga lumalabas ngayon sa mga magulang, no? Dahil iba na yung mga lumalabas sa mga online streaming platforms. Kaya the timing is perfect.
and speaking of that, attorney, marami ng question para sa inyong apat, lalo na sa kay board member Raymond and Rico. Pero before that, babati muna po tayo. Shout out lang po tayo sandali, ano? Babalikan ko kayo, especially yung question for board member Aquino and board member Pableo. And I think other official can answer the question regarding sa Responsableng Panonood. Oo. Pero shout out muna po tayo. Binabati po natin na happy birthday si Attorney Ignacio Toting Bunye and happy anniversary Attorney Toting Bunye and wife Doktora Mira Bunye. Congrats Attorney Jose Victor Badiola, Attorney Lou Antonel Navarro, and Attorney Teresa Mackay ng RTC Manila for passing the 2022 bar exam at sa lahat po ng mga bagong abogado. Happy birthday also to Marlon Purificacion. Happy viewing to former MMDA Metro 1 Lito Berhel de Dios. Happy viewing to Mr. June Estilore, Miss Alma Sechua. And belated happy birthday kay Mr. Hannibal Eisenheim. Happy viewing kay Miss Divine Jess Talosa at sa Legal Department ng Philippine Statistics Office. Kay Miss Julie Suyam Charm Bilones Reyes. Happy viewing din po kay Miss Amy Opus ng Bohol. Get well soon, Doc Olive Skin Mendoza ng Doc Olive Skin Medica. Happy viewing kay Mr. Potpot Chavez and Sir Luisito Chavez ng Tinapayan. Happy viewing kay Sir Noli Cortez. Also, happy viewing kay Ime Serot ng Japan na nakamonitor right now. Thank you po. Ohayo gozaimasu sa mga taga-Japan. Happy viewing also to Miss Joey Cabasada ng San Juan City, kay Miss Sheng Bin Ong ng Manila RTC, kay Miss Tess Camson ng Batangas City, and kay Miss Elizabeth Constantino ng USA. Also sa mga taga-Hawaii, happy viewing. Kay Mr. Ken Cleaver Cruz, ang ating kaibigan sa Malacanang, thank you for viewing. Kay Kagawad Janet Infante, uy, muntik akong makalimutan. Birthday din po ngayon ng dating presidente, Joseph Erap Estrada. Happy birthday po. Sa mga taga-UP Village, kay Miss Shasha Blanco, kay Miss Alma Sichua, Presilda Contigera, Mr. Eli Mendoza, Mariel Dairit at Professor Castillo. Yung second batch po ng shoutout, mamaya na kasi natambakan na po ako ng ibang question. Babalikan na po natin si mga board members, pinagpipitagang board members ng MTRCB. So, I think the right person po silang lahat, pero I think yung unang pwedeng sumagot neto kasi ito yung tungkol sa Responsableng Panonood, kung saan ang committee may hawak neto ay si Board Member Raymond Aquino at si Board Member Rico Pableo. Sir, ang question po is, paano daw nyo, kasi na-mention kanina ni Sir Moreno na almost everyday nagmo-monitor kayo ng film mula umaga hanggang hapon. So, wala bang nakakalusot doon sa minomonitor nyo? At paano na mo-monitor at naipapatupad yung responsableng panonood ng mga kababayan natin?
You have two questions, no?
Yes po.
Yeah, so with regards to the first question, what we do, we don't do the monitoring, we do the reviewing.
Mhm.
Okay? Kasi kung ano lumalabas dyan, we, on television and the movies, we review those. No? So before they can show that, there has to be approval. Okay, so walang makakalusot dyan in terms of na hindi ma-review. Now, speaking about the review, kasi when you review, kasi di ba MTRCB, it's review and classification. After we review, we classify.
Yes.
We classify to, let's say, G, PG, SPG, etc., etc. Now, yung sa classification side, there are times that some people will not agree with our classification. Pero hindi ibig sabihin lumusot lang. We just disagree. No? Now, with regards to how it's classified, when a show is being reviewed, there are 3 board members. And its majority wins kaya 3 eh. So let's say for example, ang dalawa dyan nag-rate ng PG, isa ginawa niyang SPG. So yung rating niyan will be kung sino man yung dominant. Kung may question yan, yung rating niyan later on, si BM Rico will answer that. Now with regards to paano pinapatupad yung sa matatalinong panonood or responsableng panonood, well, what we're doing is actually through education. So like we have material out there reminding people about the responsibility of, let's say, the viewers to guide their children. Kasi ang totoo namang MTRCB, because the purpose of the MTRCB is to protect the minds of the children, because the children are the future of the nation. So our job essentially is to try hard to protect the minds of the children through the classification. Pero the job of that is really that of the parents. So what we do is that we issue guidelines or SPG. So the parent will have to, it's a discretion of the parent na SPG yan. Dapat di pwede mga bata dyan na manood below 13 years old, etc. So that's how that's how it's done. Now, ang ginagawa namin yung sa Responsableng Panonood also is that we conduct seminars to make people understand better the repercussions, for example, of the effect of these kinds of movies, violent movies, sexual movies, on the minds of the children. Now, there is more to that, but I'd hand it out to PM Rico to continue.
Yes, what area? Anyway, I would like also to share on that itong programa naming Responsableng Panonood, actually this is renamed under this new chairmanship of Chair Lala dahil previously this was called Matalinong Panonood, and now we rename it Responsableng Panonood because we would like to bring into the house, into the family, that responsibility that we are doing in the materials or in the movie or television. That parents have the biggest role in molding the future of these children, in molding society, in building our society. Actually, I'm very happy that I work at MTRC because MTRCB is actually building people through value formation. Itong tinatawag namin na Responsableng Panonood is a developmental program of the agency. Meaning to say that at the start, we will give introduction about this thing and what are the ratings, what we are doing. And later on, the second phase of this, that we deal more on value formation and ultimately maybe strengthen our partnership with the parents. That's why we are looking, part of this program is to reach out, to organize, and to make partners of these parents. Yung PTA, kasi yun ang target natin. If there are parents, like itong sinasabi natin kanina from Bacoor, Cavite.
Bacoor, Cavite po.
Yeah. Kaya, yung itong mga kababaihan, this is a good sign that these mothers, these ladies or women have the sense of responsibility kasi yun ang kailangan natin ng ating society. Now, we are very sensitive in reviewing materials. Yung sinasabi natin nakalusot, hindi yun nakalusot. Hindi dumaan sa MTRCB. Like for example, merong yung Mangkano, nagtaka, ano pang ginagawa ng MTRCB? Actually, yun ang nangyari kasi hindi dumaan sa MTRCB. Anything that becomes questionable na parang talagang very detrimental to our culture, Filipino values, and to our expectation of materials. Because we understand itong movies are one way of educating people, one way of bringing awareness to people, one way of telling people that it is life, how life is to be made. So, yung mga hindi na-review, talaga eventually hindi dumaan dahil they have some agenda that eventually does not jive with the purpose of this Presidential Decree 1986. Matagal na, but we are moving forward for it.
Board Member Rico, na-mention po kanina ni Board Member Raymond na ang isa sa role na ginagampanan ng committee nyo, yung sa Responsableng Panonood, is yung rating nga. Pero na-mention yung sa value formation and education. Are you working with other schools na para ituro rin yung yung mga i-incorporate sa education yung tamang panonood, yung kung ano yung dapat panoorin? May tie-up ba kayo with schools?
We are initially working with that, with the MCCT. There is that thing. And DepEd, we are initially planning about it and integrating it with the academ or the module that they have. But we understand it's not easy because it will take time. You have to train these teachers at the same time. We have to determine whether it is really easy. Even sex education is not an easy thing to discuss in the classroom. But we are working on that, ma'am. So, especially this time that we are given the task to really, we are organized into committees so that these committees can focus on what those programs. Kaya itong Responsableng Panonood under the chairmanship of our Vice Chair, Neil, talagang this is a nationwide program. We will have launching in Manila, Cebu, and Davao, and after that we will have series of seminar or orientation and building up of this organization of parents or women para matulungan kasi the agency is represented by chairperson, the board members, and aside from that, we have deputies. So kahit na Dean Federico is just in Manila, he can understand what are those other things that are happening in far-flung in Zamboanga, kasi there are some deputies there in Zamboanga or over there in General Santos City. And we are planning for more deputies on that. I don't know if you heard about deputies. We have deputies, people who are performing our functions in the same way. They go to the cinemas to determine talagang cinemas are following the adherence of the permit that have been issued to them. So it's a big thing that we are doing. We are not just an office of under the office of the president that just wait and see for legislation, but we're actively getting ourselves into the community and to the ordinary life of people, because the materials or the thing that we release are things that will shape probably or for sure the minds and the hearts and the attitude of our generation.
Oo. Baka may gustong idagdag si Board Member Raymond at saka si Chairman Federico Moreno.
Yeah, with regards to yung kasi right now it's Responsableng Panonood. That used to be called yung bang matatalinong panunood, no? But more it's essentially the same. Tapos yung ginagawa namin noon, which will be continued now, no, is that when we go out to, let's say, sa probinsya, yung mga talaga sulok-sulok talaga, no, we organize it with schools, with let's say the barangays who are willing to listen, no. Di naman natin mapipilit eh. But we've been around, we've been to different schools and we talk about it. At saka, alam mo, ang ganda ng reaction. Kasi yung bang nagpapasalamat sila na napakalayo nila ng probinsya, let's say, maski for example sa Guimaras, no? Yung mga far-flung areas na naalala sila ng gobyerno tungkol sa mga bagay na ganito. And then when we explain it to them, no, yung the psychological effect of these kinds of things on the children, they really appreciate it. Kasi iba yung yung bang yung bang parang commercial lang na sa dali siguro ilang seconders lang yan to be responsible compared to na talagang may nag-explain na presentation talaga parang seminar, no, tungkol sa psychology at saka child rearing, etc. The agency has done that, and we as board members, we travel the country just to the far-flung barangays to be able to communicate the need to protect the minds of the children.
Oo, maganda yun. At least yung mga sa Tagalog, dinadayong kaloob-looban sa mga probinsya.
Yeah, oh.
Kasi,
Very true.
Oo. Board Member Raymond, di ko alam, siguro, pati yung sa mga liblib na area, mas hindi ko naman minamaliit, pero yung sa mga liblib, may namomonitor pa ba tayo? May signal pa ba ng television doon?
No. Meron. You know what? Like for example, nakarating kami doon sa Mountain Province.
Uh-huh.
You know, like we landed, I think, in La Union, and it took we took a bus. Took us about 3 hours on the road. Alam mo na the roads there are really bad. But we traveled maybe for about close to 2 hours or 3 hours just to get to some part of the Mountain Province to tell them about these things, to teach them about these things. So makita mo talaga how grateful they are that they realize na importante talaga yung guiding the children through the parents. Kasi yung target mo when we do the seminars are the parents eh. Although minsan yung may magkasama doon mga bata. But you'll be surprised during our seminars. Let's say yung mga mga PG audience. And when we show them, ano rating yan? Kasi may mock rating kami. Dapat may panoorin ng mga bata, ganito. Magugulat ka, minors yan. Alam nila anong hindi dapat nila panoorin. Very, ibang, ang ganda ng feeling.
Then nakakatuwang malaman na kahit paano may ganon. Habang nakikinig po ako sa inyo, yung mga grupo ng kababaihan, nakamonitor sila, hindi lang po makapag-live dahil may ongoing meeting kay Mayor. Pero may isang sumingit at nagpapatanong. Hindi ko po alam kung kayo yung right person na sasagot nito o PNP. Kasi ang tanong niya is, hindi ko po ako nagpa-plug Ang tanong ni Ma'am Helen, na isa sa mga responsableng lola na nagbabantay sa kanyang mga apo at anak sa panonood ng TV, ito po ina-announce kong tiga Bacoor, Cavite. Supposed to be magsusum sila, kaya lang hindi rin makapag-zoom right now, pero nagmo-monitor individually na lang kasi may meeting nga kay Mayor. Ang question po ni Ma'am Helen is, again, hindi ko po pina-plug ang probinsyano. Siguro na-review nyo na yun. May portion daw po ng probinsyano last week. Actually, kasi hindi ako nanonood i-replay ko nga to, na interesado ako May portion daw doon na last week yung tatay daw ni Cardo, hindi ko alam sino artista yon, to the point na ang pinoportray niya is police na ng barel, hinahabol si Cardo, something like that. So, paano daw nakalusot yun? Sabi ko, hindi ko alam kung MTRCB ang right person na sumagot neto o yung PNP Film and TV Committee. But unfortunately, Ma'am Helen, baka lagyan na lang natin ng part 2. Siguro, tatanong ko na lang sa MTRCB kay Chair Moreno. Siguro na-review niyo yung portion na yun, Hindi ako aware dun Yung nagalit daw yata kay Cardo at pinagbabaril si Cardo pero hindi naman tinamaan. I think hindi daw maganda yon. Sana daw na-edit kasi it portray yung negativity ng image ng PNP. Pangit na nga yung image ng PNP. Paano daw nakalusot yon? So siguro, Ma'am Helen, kung nakikinig ka pa ngayon, sasagutin ni Chair Moreno or anybody from the MTRCB board. Go ahead po. Na-review niyo po ba yon, yung portion na yon? Kasi I'm not aware of that
There you go. Thank you, Ma'am Helen, for the question. At salamat po, Ma'am Helen, na ipinarating niyo sa amin. Ma'am Madelynne, it's like this, ma'am, yung probinsyano, which is actually one of the...
probinsyano, yung
I'm
Batang
sorry,
Quiapo.
the Batang Quiapo. There you
Po.
go.
Kasi pinapanood ko noon, probinsyano Batang Quiapo pala yung Sorry.
Correct. It's okay, ma'am. The the Batang Quiapo, we are actually receiving complaints now about Batang Quiapo. And what we do is, if there is a complaint being sent to us, it is presented to the board, just like the other day, it was presented to us. So now, we have already officially a complaint coming from them. We will work on it, But, again, doesn't mean that if mag-make po complaint, doon pa lang namin tatrabahuhin, We would just like to tell everyone that we are very proactive. But, the problem with some shows, let's say for example, ma'am, itong Batang Quiapo, we only review that once a week. Hindi ho siya every time na magpapalabas, re-reviewin po namin, There is such a thing as they send us a sample episode. So these episodes are the ones that we review. So not really per episode. But in the event po, ma'am, na dumadami po ang complaint, nagiging every episode na po namin nire-review. So just to inform you, ma'am, we just finished the board meeting. That's the reason why I mentioned the board meeting, ma'am, kasi na-raise po sa amin yan just a few days ago.
The same issue rin po.
Yeah.
Yung pinapatanong ni Ms. Helen or other other episode ng Batang Quiapo?
Sabihin na lang po nating medyo madaming pong nagrereklamo. Yun na lang po sabihin natin, So, yun po ang mangyayari ngayon. We will be reviewing them on a daily basis. Ganun naman po yung proseso para po mabantayan namin mabuti yung mga lumalabas po sa content.
Thank you, Chair. So, kung nakikinig ka, Ma'am Helen, nasagot na yung tanong nyo. Pero yung portion ng in behalf naman ng PNP, siguro, kukunan din natin sila by next part 2 episode. Ang ine-explain lang ng mga panauhin natin ngayon, Ma'am Helen, is yung role nila as MTRCB board member.
Ma'am, if I just may wanna share, no, ma'am, we also X movies, no? We X content. I'll give you an example, ma'am, no? Just for everyone's info lang. The first episode of Batang Quiapo was X, and I was part of that committee. So just to inform you, ma'am, we are really working hand in hand with the stakeholders kasi maraming kailangan balansehin eh. And you know what I mean, ma'am, no? So ang ibig po namin sabihin dyan is we work hand in hand, we work closely together with the stakeholders, but nag-i-X po kami kapag sobra talaga. So, yun po ang proseso na ginagawa namin. Halimbawa, may review, nakita namin it's not fit, then we exit. They will send us a new version.
Okay. Other than Batang Quiapo, again, hindi po ako nagko-commercial. Meron bang mga ibang pelikula sa television na may na-receive na rin kayong complaint?
The question is addressed to whom?
Other than Batang Quiapo, meron na po bang ibang pinapalabas sa television na may mga complaint na rin kayong natanggap? Na
I guess
right at
BM
the
Raymond
moment,
can answer
nire-review
that
nyo?
question. BM Raymond, being or Attorney Casas can answer that question.
Yes, there have been complaints before, no, and we always act on it. But let me also point out something, no. We're very objective. Kasi hindi naman dahil may complaint, kampi kami kagad sa complainant. Hindi ganun yun, ano. We will have to weigh it also so that whether matarong, I'm sorry, I'm not Tagalog, pero I think the word is whether it's just katarungan, something like that, right? So is it adjusting to do? Kasi remember, we live in a democracy. There has to be a certain amount of freedom of expression. Now, if every complaint that let's say nalalabas dyan is to sanitize, let's say, especially if let's say it's true, then we don't live in a democracy anymore. Diba? So you have to balance that. There will be complaints, and again, if we go back, yes, there are complaints, but we look at it very, very objectively. And there are times we act on it, and there are times that we don't, and we explain why we feel like it's not a valid complaint, but everything is taken very, very seriously. And I think si Attorney Casas can add to that.
Yes, thank you. If I may add po, ma'am, yung procedure doon pag may reklamo, of course, fina-file mo na through a letter to the office of the chair or sa legal, and then it is referred to the Adjudication Committee. And then we request the parties to appear before the committee and then answer to the complaint. If it's found valid, then therefore, of course, from the committee, then we impose a sanction or a penalty. Hindi naman po lahat ng complaints giging valid. Ano po? Is it okay to cite a few? Di ba? Like there is a complaint about yung kaka, yung magkanor, and also sa Netflix. Meron din na dami pong complaints sa Netflix. With that naman sa Netflix, we escalate. That's the word they use. We escalate that complaint to them, and then they also have their own process of determining kung valid yung complaint or not. But rest assured po, all the complaints we address. We address all, small or big, or etc. Now, yung sa nagmo-monitor po, hindi naman kami kasi nagmo-monitor. Meron kami mga agents who monitor on 24 hours 7, 24/7. We have a wall full of monitors there going on that 24/7 nga. And they see kung meron ng mga possible violations. Also, may mga, si board member Rico was saying, we have deputies nationwide They also file complaints sa atin. And also yung general public also file complaints through emails or letters. Now all of that we receive and we act on it judiciously and with dispatch.
Attorney Casas, follow-up question lang po. Being the chair ng Adjudication Committee, ano po yung kaparusahan na may pinatawan na ba kayo? Tama ba yung Tagalog ko? May in-impose na ba kayong penalty dun sa mga nag-violate ng mga inappropriate na pagpapalabas sa television or sa movies?
Oh, yes po. With regards to television muna, we can suspend the program. We can even cancel the program. We can ask the network. We can suspend the network itself from programming for a certain period. So the board is authorized to suspend or to cancel the program. Doon naman sa theaters, we can require that the theater be suspended or closed kung nagwa-violate din siya. Like for instance, nag-exhibit siya ng material na walang permit or with the knowledge, sila mismo nagpapalabas ng mga material na prohibited by the board. Now, yung mga sa producers naman, yung kanilang pelikula, we can cancel the permit as well. We can X the movie as well. Hindi na ipapalabas. Pwede rin yun. Actually, the board is authorized to suspend or to cancel, but we are not allowed to impose fines. Now, yun ang administrative aspect. Doon sa criminal naman po, we can file criminal case against the entities or the officers of the entities involved. Ang imprisonment po niyan is 1 day to 1 year po. So we can do that, admin and criminal as well.
Attorney Casas, meron na bang na-impose kayo? Meron na ba kayong na-adjudicate na ito, naka-violate ka, sinampahan nyo ng kasong criminal or administrative? Sa itong administration, at this point, itong taon, we have not yet kasi nag-resume lang po tayo ng adjudication hearings. But before, yung long time ago, we did impose certain penalties na po. Nadami na po.
If I may clarify something, no?
Yes,
with
go
regards
ahead,
to
board
that.
member, Raymond.
Kasi when we rate a movie, we have guidelines. We base it on what we call the yellow book. So dapat may kasi 'di ba ang tanong niya, ano basihan, 'di ba? So may guide kami na ang tinatawag na yellow book. At saka yung book, yung guidelines na yan, actually child psychologists help come up with those guidelines. So may basihan din yon kung bakit ganun yon. Now also remember we are in a democracy. And yung let's say the producers or let's say the television companies, we have to remember that they too have rights. So to be fair to everybody, diba? So for example, like if they feel that let's say the punishment has been unjust, there are legal remedies to that. That's why on our part sa MTRCB, we're very, very, very careful when it comes to acting on say cases. Kasi may yan may lahat ng bagay may repercussion din eh. So like the law is very fair to both parties. And again, let me just point out that on the side of, let's say, the filmmakers, the directors, the movie houses, etc., they too have rights under our laws. And I think si Attorney Casas he's the lawyer, I'm not.
Going back to Attorney Casas, kasi kanina puro negative yung question ko, Attorney Casas. Let's be more positive naman. Kung merong kayong in-adjudicate na sinampahan, correct me if I'm wrong, in the past na may criminal liability, may admin liability, ano po yung ginagawa ng MTRCB sa yung mga magaganda naman yung pinapalabas? May mga awardings ba kayong pinagkakaloob sa kanila? Or parang konting papremyo or what? Yung wholesome ang pinapalabas, yung you receive a lot of good feedback sa mga viewers. Kasi mayroon din ganun eh. Hindi natin maaalis yun eh.
Yeah.
Yes po. If I remember lang po, there was only once. Ito, this is addressed also to my colleagues here. Only once ng MTRCB nagbigay ng award. MTRCB award. That was during the time of the chairmanship of Chair LaGuardia. We did give certain awards, if I recall, only once. After that, wala na po. Hindi na po nasundan eh. Kasi parang it's medyo ironical ba? Or hindi ito bagay. We are a regulatory board, no? Dealing with content. Not artistic. It's our mandate is towards the how they say, ano yun eh, hindi na on sexual content. It also deals with themes like insurrection, rebellion, and themes of drugs, and how they say, when it's directed to a certain entity, mga ganun po. So, how do you now reconcile yung trabaho na ganon, na regulatory, and then giving awards sa artistic value? But nonetheless, we tried to do that. But only, as far as I know, isang beses lang po nangyari. I wish and I hope that magkakaroon ulit, sana. Because now, the composition of the board, karamihan po ay nasa industriya, television, movie, andyan po sila lahat. So I wish we could again continue that.
Maybe si Chair Federico Moreno have something to say?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm committee chair, not chair,
Opo. Opo. Committee Chair ng
Yes,
ng
ma'am.
ratings and classification.
Yes.
Kasi
there you go,
pinaka-chair natin si Madam Lala.
Chair Lala.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's right. No, just like what Attorney Dean Paulino said, no, that this board is really, I would say, competent and excited to move forward with everything that's happening, no. So, rest assured that we are here and to provide guidance, no, to the stakeholders. Kasi walang tigil na pagbabantay at kagaya niyan, working, collaborating with them. So, yun lang naman. Thank you.
Okay, shout out po ulit. Natambakan na ako dito ulit. Happy viewing kay Miss Bel Surara ng Net25. Belated happy birthday kay Glenn Gatus ng Net25. Happy viewing din sa kaabante natin, si Edwin Balasa. Sa mga taga-staff and nurses ng Heart Center of the Philippines, thank you po for viewing Usapan sa Balai. At kay Engineer Hill Buan. Sa mga staff and nurses ng ER ng Children's Hospital, thank you po for watching. Kay Miss Rosemary Lara and Anton Tamayo ng Perpetual School, thank you po. Happy viewing kay Sec Bobby ng UP Village, kay Attorney Tess Rivera, kay June Estilore, sa ating kasamahan, Director June Mendoza ng Philippine Star, kay Lloyd Benedicto ng Project 4 Quezon City, kay Doc Claire Iligan, thank you for viewing, kay Mr. John Lavines ng Antipolo, thank you po. Marami daw siyang natutunan, salamat po. Miss Kawaguchi Beverly ng Japan, thank you for watching. And kay Engineer Reynaldo Agustin ng Antipolo City. Also, thank you for Mr. Robert De Guzman for watching. Wala na po tayong oras, hingan lang po natin ang last few words at gusto ko puling pasalamatan ang pamunuan ng MTRCB sa pamumuno ng ating Madam Chair, Miss Lala Soto, at yung mga naging panauhin natin, sila Attorney Paulino Casas, ang Committee Chair ng Adjudication Committee ng MTRCB, si Mr. Federico Moreno, ang Board Member and Chair ng Ratings and Classification Committee ng Movie and Television Review and Classification Board. At si Mr. Raymond Aquino, Board Member, Committee ng Responsableng Panonood. Same with Mr. Rico Pableo ng Responsableng Panonood. Hingan ko lang sila ng last few words at thank you po for allowing us to be part of Usapan sa Balay. Baka may announcement po kayo or last few words. Unahin ko na si Sir Moreno. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Miss Madelynne, first of all, thank you for inviting us over.
The pleasure is ours.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. The pleasure is all ours. It was really fun way of really sharing what we do at the MTRCB, and also at least marami pong ganito pala ginagawa nila, ganito pala. So at least kahit paano po we were able to share, no, kung like what I mentioned a while ago, ano yung mga ginagawa naman sa MTRC sa aming pong mga stakeholders, especially the Filipino families. Nandito lang po kami if you need may mga complaints po, kung may mga complaints po kayo, sumulat lang po kayo sa amin, and rest assured we will address it the soonest. Again, maraming po salamat, ma'am, for inviting us over, and magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, sir. Attorney Cases?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. I would like to extend the gratitude of MTRCB to the National Press Club for inviting us this afternoon to be able to, shed light to what we're actually doing. And I hope we will be invited again para mailabas namin sa viewing public yung aming layunin. And I would also like to thank the gentlemen, board members here, Board Member Raymond, Board Member Rico, and Board Member Federico for your time. I know such short notice, pero thank you very much. And next time again, please. Madam, Madelynne, thank you po very much.
Thank you po. Sir Raymond, baka may babatiin kayo, Board Member Raymond and Board Member Rico.
Well, okay. Sa mga Cebuano dyan, kamusta? Hopefully, daghan mo nakatunan. Hindi nyo naintindihan nyo na.
Naintindihan ko po. Bisaya po ang mother ko.
Ganun ba? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope we were able to share a lot of things with you that we shed light into the work that we do. Kasi yun nga, when si BM Casas, asked me whether I wanted to join, I said yes right away. Kasi, we get bashed, MTRCB. Tapos yung chismis dyan, fake news yung sinasabi, wala kaming ginagawa, marami kaming ginagawa.
At least pinarating ko po sa inyo na wala daw kayong ginagawa.
Oo. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you po. Sir Rico?
Yes,
Board Member Rico, I mean.
Yes, unang-una, I would like to thank the National Press Club. I have some friends and extend my greetings over there. And actually, ma'am, yung sinasabi kanina, meron kaming mga programa. Yung programa will be, yung Responsableng Panonood will launch by May in NCR in Manila, and in June probably in Davao, and in April in Cebu, in Cebu. So we also have, actually, part of the program sa yung Responsableng Panonood will be awarding the best MOBI. Nandoon na yun kasali. We are working on it for this part of that program. So kasi yung ginagawa na maganda in the past, we are trying to restore it. But basically, ang trust ng MTRCB is more on partnership, more on development and building the nation, at the same time, adherence to the Filipino values. So maraming salamat, especially sa mga babaihan, and sa lahat na nakinig. And we always would like to partner with everyone who wish to go with the best movie and television presentations, anything that in the Philippines that we would like to do, especially that we are challenged now. So we would like to ask your help, how we could really implement and find ways that these challenges will be attended to. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa ating lahat.
Maraming salamat po. Inyo pong napakinggan si Attorney Cases ng MTRCB, si Mr. Moreno, si Board Member Raymond Aquino, and Board Member Rico Pableo. Again, NPC would like to extend our sincere thanks to MTRCB officials, kay Chair Lala Soto, and also sa PNP, kila Colonel Red Maranan, kay General Arner Amor Libed, ng PNP Chair Film Committee and Television. Magpa-part 2 po kami, siguro kukuha pa rin kami sa MTRCB kasi may mga question pong dapat andyan pa rin ang MTRCB at katuwang ang PNP kasi may committee pala sila. Ngayon ko lang nalaman na may committee rin bukod sa MTRCB po, mga kaibigan. Meron din pala ang Philippine National Police na isang committee na nagmo-monitor kung saan gumaganap yung mga police, yung mga pinoportray nila, kung ano yung nababiolate at ano, yung mga gumagamit ng insignia and the other. So, we will be having our part 2 maybe next week. We will let you know. Maraming pong salamat sa pangalan po na aking partner, Professor Dennis Napule, na medyo siyang umattend in my behalf sa emergency meeting at ako ang balagoong dito. Just the same, maraming salamat po sa nag-participate po. Samahan niyo po kami uli next week sa Usapan sa Balai National Press Club. Thank you and God bless. Bye!
Thank you po.
God bless.
Usapan sa Balay, News and Current
Ang
Affairs.
palatuntunan maghahatid sa inyo ng mahahalagang impormasyon.
Usapan sa Balay.
Sapat na kaalaman kapaki-pakinabang at kinakailangan ng bayan.
Usapan sa Balay. Ating samahan ang mga host na sina Dennis Napule at Madelynne Dominguez. Usapan sa Balay, News and Current
Ang
Affairs.
palatuntunan maghahatid sa inyo ng mahahalagang impormasyon.
Usapan sa Balay.
Sapat na kaalaman kapaki-pakinabang at kinakailangan ng bayan.
Usapan sa Balay. Ating samahan ang mga host na sina Dennis Napule at Madelynne Dominguez.
Apat na dekada ka na naming kasama, mula sa simpleng agahan hanggang sa mga fiesta o espesyal na handaan. Pinasasaya mo ang bawat selebrasyon, ginagawang memorable ang bawat okasyon. Sa mga pagsubok, hindi mo kami iniwan, nariyan ka para kami ay tulungan. Maraming kwento ang nabuo dahil sa'yo. Nagbigay ka ng pag-asa sa kabila ng mga sakuna. Tunay ngang ikaw ang house of bread. Tahanan ka sa masasarap, malalambot, at masusustansyang tinapay. Ikaw, oo ikaw, ikaw ay tunay naming mahal. Tinapayan Festival, ang tinapay ng Maynila.
Tinapayan Festival is the house of bread. Tinapay ay anong sarap, for me it is the best. Lahat dito ng tinapay ay hahanaping tunay. Tinapayan Festival.